Thank you, TJ, and thank all the advocates and participants that are here. I think it's important as CWCEW, the commission, in holding this press conference with the mission of autism and humanity. And Melvette spoke very effectively in regards to that, where every life has value and every voice matters. But I want to take a step back to all the people that came before. It was nearly 17 years ago when I was part of a legislative body that voted to pass landmark legislation to provide testing coverage for autism at an early age. And I think that began the process of recognizing the importance of diagnosis and supportive care. I want to acknowledge the leaders before me, Miss Abercrombie, Kathy Abercrombie, Noreen Kokaruda, may she rest in peace. These are many other legislators guided us when it was not as well recognized and accepted. And as Melvette said, there's more to go still. But I think the biggest acknowledgement I want to give are to the parents and to the children, now soon to be many of them adults since that 17 years ago, that have lived fulfilled, active, and happy lives. So I think it's important to acknowledge all of those parents and all of those children because they are the true heroes. They're the true heroes, especially the loving parents and the patient parents that provided the unconditional love that is so important. And so for us to be able to speak up here, I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of them. That being said, I think there's still so much more that needs to be done. And I think acceptance is one part. But acceptance can only occur when you are educated to the fact, aware, and compassionate. We are not looking for sympathy. We are looking for awareness and understanding. And I think that is one of the most powerful things that we need to change in our culture and in our behaviors, to understand. We don't look at an individual that is different than us and say they're different and so therefore they are lesser than. And I think what we want to be able to do is acknowledge the unique gifts and abilities and the contributions an individual can make. I'm going to leave you with a quick story in regards to, it was 1951. Miss Evelyn Kennedy in Bridgeport, Connecticut, had a child that was impacted by a learning disability and was told by a family doctor that give Michael a hug and a kiss, send him away to an institution, and forget that you ever had him. And I guess Evelyn, with her Irish feistiness, said, no way. She probably said it a little more colorful. But what she did was start the Kennedy Center, in which an entire community banded to be able to provide supportive services, adaptive skills, and a nurturing, loving environment. I'm happy to report that since 1951, countless intellectually disabled adults have lived happy and fulfilled lives. And for those parents that were actively engaged, they can rest in peace in knowing that their children are living safe, happy, and fulfilled lives. So I think what I want to be able to do as a legislator is in ways of telling these stories and telling many of the other individuals out in the community that may not be impacted by IDD that you should support this cause. And the reason you should support this cause, even though you yourself may not be impacted, you should support this cause because as a parent, you have unconditional love for your child. And for those advocates and patient and loving parents that are fighting for their children, they're doing everything that you would do if you didn't have an IDD child. So that is something that I strive to impart. Why should you care? You should care because every child, every voice has an opportunity to succeed. And every parent that is fighting tirelessly for their children are doing the same thing any parent would do. So God bless you all, and thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to be a part of this acknowledgement of brilliant and wonderful and unconditional loving people. Thank you.